The Pimax Crystal Super arrived yesterday, and after nearly 2 days of use I thought I'd make my quick first impressions video. Now I must say Pimax did send me the headset, so feel free to tune out, but I'm going to give my opinions, the good and the bad, and hopefully you'll stick around. But first, a quick word from this video's sponsor. Okay, so this is going to be a bit of a rough and ready video. It's not a full in-depth review. I've only had it a couple of days. That'll come later on with benchmarks and stuff. But for now, I've written a few notes in front of me, so I make sure I hit the points I want to. So bear with me. Starting off with build quality, I've got to say the build quality I think is very good. You know, it's a premium product at a premium price, around £1,600 including tax, there or thereabouts. But it does feel good. It's plastic construction throughout, but it's not cheap plastics. It does all feel very nice. It's not like Pimax of old, you know, the 8KX, let's be honest, felt like a bit of a prototype still. But this, I'm happy to say, is a full-on finished premium product. It looks good too. You got the LED on the front there, which you can change the colour of. It's just a nice little touch. Bit of a fingerprint magnet being glossed there, but let's be honest, it does look pretty good. Although how good it looks doesn't really matter when it's on your face. And the facial interface is the same as the light. You know, it's a plastic interface here, so if you do need to take it off for any reason, if you want to unplug the cable, you just have to pull it out, and that's always a scary thing to do, being plastic lugs and whatnot. But I've never had any break. It's just all scary to do, but it is what it is. It does the job. The foam is the normal foam that you get on the Crystal Light. You get the thin one on it, comes with the thicker one you can change to. I probably will change to that actually, because when I do clamp down for that little extra FOV, my eyelashes do touch on the lenses. And well, in fact, maybe I'll just get my eyelashes trimmed. Is that a thing? Can you get your eyelashes trimmed? I have a beard trimmer. The head strap is essentially the same as the Crystal Light and the Crystal before it. It's the same ratchet on the back, same facial interface as I've said, and same top strap. But I have made one change. You see, the head strap can now do this and lock up. Not really sure why. I don't know who that's for. I mean, if you need to be going in and out of VR quickly, maybe a developer, although it's a consumer headset. I don't know. I don't know what that's for. If you know, let me know. It's just a design choice they made. It's not a complaint, but really know why they needed to make that change. I mean, it feels good. It's a good mechanism, just not something I need. And it does mean I have to use the ratchet whenever I put the headset on or take it off. I used to just have that where I liked it, and I could slip the headset on and off with the Crystal Light without ever touching that. Can't now. You do have to loosen that to take the headset off and put it back on. Not really a big problem, just is what it is. Just thought I would mention it. The cable is the same cable as from the Crystal Light. It's a 5-meter chunky boy. Unfortunately, you can't use the 6-meter fiber optic cable from the original Crystal. And the same on the Light, you couldn't use it either. So it's just the same cable as the Light. It'd be nice if it was longer, but that said, I do use a 1-meter extension cable. I get no disconnections or anything, so you can extend the cable without any issues at all. Not much to say about the controllers. They haven't changed at all. I'm still happy with those. The USB-C charging, which I think is great. Standard touch controller. They feel good. They do a good job. If you're holding them dead still in front of you in game and focusing on them, you might notice a tiny jitter, which is something they've tried to stamp out over numerous updates, but might still be there a little bit. But I don't know why you're playing a game just focusing on your controller in front of your face. It's not really an issue actual in game. So yeah, happy with those. Really nothing more to say on that. The headset is inside out tracked. They are working on a Lighthouse faceplate for it, but there's no date for that. They have said end of year maybe, but you know, that's Pimax, so take that with a fistful of salt. But I'll certainly be happy for that when it does come out. I'm still rocking hard mounted base stations in every corner, just collecting dust. So yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on that for when that does come out. They have brought back the USB-C port that was on the original Pimax Crystal, emitted on the Pimax Crystal Light, but I'm glad to see that back, because I do like to keep my Soundcore dongle in there, which is for my earbuds, primarily because I'm in a motion seat. I do need to use earbuds to block outside sounds because the seat is very loud, and this is just somewhere nice to keep that, not in the PC all the way across the room. So yeah, Happy to see a USB-C port back. And that brings me onto audio. This is my first big gripe with this headset. The audio built here on that head strap is pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It shouldn't be there. You know, they've got the DMAS headphones, which are like the index headphones. You know, they hang over the ear. They've got a lot of adjustability. They sound good. They go very loud. And that is what should be on these. They often do give them away, so keep your eye out. You can get them free often with the headset. But that should be the case always. In fact, I think they shouldn't just come with it. When you take this out the box, it should have the DMAS headphones on it. These shouldn't even be an option. It's by default. The DMAS should be fitted to it. That's my opinion. This headset deserves better sound than these, and by default, it should come with a DMAS. So anyway, that is what it is. Make sure you're getting a DMAS if you're getting this headset, unless you're going to use a different audio solution like I primarily do, and I still recommend the Soundcore earbuds. I think they're very good with no delay at all because they use the dongle, not Bluetooth. Right, I don't know how many minutes in I am, and I haven't even mentioned any visuals yet, so I'm going to kick that off talking about the lenses. They're glass aspheric lenses, which means you do have to be wearing the headset correctly. If you're wearing it too high or too low, your horizon, for instance, might be curving up or down, but that's not a problem. It's just the nature of the lenses. You know, after a few tries, you'll know exactly how to wear it, and it won't be a problem. In fact, the eye tracking even has a function to tell you where to wear it if you're wearing it wrong. But once you've done it a few times, you'll turn that off. You don't need it. You don't need it. Trust me, it's easy to put on and have everything level and straight. And that's just the nature of the lenses. The edge-to-edge clarity is pretty good. It's not Quest 3. You know, I personally haven't used a headset with anything better than Quest 3 lenses in that regard. So yeah, they're good. They're very good, really, but they're just not that good. But I don't have any issues with the lenses regard to edge-to-edge clarity. I don't expect Quest 3. I'd like Quest 3 in every headset, but that's not where we're at the moment. What we do have, though, is chromatic aberration. It's like the crystal light. There is a lot of chromatic aberration in certain circumstances, especially if you're looking for it. And my example is Automobilista. Okay, when you load up onto track, you know, you've got the square in front of you with like the timings, or like, you know, your sort of menu when you've loaded on track. That, for example, has really obvious chromatic aberration around the edge. And that's where I mainly see it in menus and stuff. Once I'm in game, I don't think about it. I never think about it. It's not something I look for or think about once I'm in game. I can't say that's the same for everyone. Maybe you're very susceptible to it and it bothers you, but for myself, it doesn't. So yeah, it's a shame it's there. We have it, and I notice it on menus, but in game I don't see it, so it's not really a problem for me. But I've got to mention it. I can't pretend it doesn't exist. And same with really the big elephant in the room, which I could have kicked off with, is Mura. You know, everyone's heard about this headset having Mura. Pimax knows they have Mura. There's no getting around it. But it's nowhere near as bad as I was concerned it might be. So let me put it into perspective. If the PSVR 2 is a 10 on the Mura scale, 0 to 10, 0 being obviously no Mura, this is down like a 2 or a 3. You know, it is there, but again, if I look for it, you know, you can see it. Or if you're in a clear blue sky on a day race or in a flight sim, you know, you could still notice it, but it's not really a big deal. Certainly 99% of the time it's just forgotten about, and especially if it's a busy scene or dark scene, you won't even see it. So it's not a concern. And the trade-offs, I think, in this headset, in this circumstance, are worth it, because one thing you must have heard is how bright this headset is, and it is very bright, which is very good. Maybe not as bright as PSVR 2, not sure. Obviously that has a way worse Mura, but it's nice and bright. Very noticeable if you then change to the light or the Quest 3 or anything. The brightness is fantastic, and it does add a lot to immersion, you know, headlights and stuff, feeling a lot more like a light source, and the sunshine feeling a lot more like you're in the daytime. So yeah, I love the brightness of this headset. And that leads me on talking about local dimming, which on the Crystal Light I wasn't a big fan of. I always turned off the local dimming on the Crystal Light because I found with it on at all, it just dimmed the whole scene a little bit, and with it up, you know, as high as it would go, especially, which is what it was on by default, you get a lot of blooming in scenes, which is like when you're in a dark scene, objects have like a big glow around them. Didn't like it. The local dimming on this, obviously it has a lot more dimming zones, works so much better, and by default it's in the middle setting on the slider. I've tried putting it all the way off. It doesn't seem to go all the way off. Like, you know it's still on because there's a minimal blooming around objects, but you know, almost nothing. But it feels like it doesn't go off 100%. You could probably turn it off in the INI file or something. But and then I've tried it on maximum, and I don't need it there. The blooming goes up more, but it's still not too bad. So I leave it default in the middle, and it works great. The blacks are really nice. They're not OLED blacks, obviously, but no, it works very well, much better than I thought it would. So I'm very happy with the brightness, very happy with the local dimming. One thing I slightly noticed, and I'd like to get your opinions on this, if you've used the headset, what you think. The white balance maybe feels a little cold. Maybe it's just due to the brightness, but say playing AMS2 in like the light compared to this, the whites feel a little colder. But I don't know, maybe that's just me. It's not an issue, it's just something I thought I maybe noticed. But yeah, so yeah, the FOV I found on this is awesome. This is the non-ultrawide version. It's the 50 ppd normal version, and it's advertised at 127 degrees, and I get a measured 126. You know, it seems to be about what I get. I think that might be the first time I got pretty much what's advertised. Vertical 104 for me, but you know, these numbers don't mean too much because they're subjective. They'll be different for you. I'm just saying I seem to get what's advertised, which is pretty cool. The actual image in the headset is simply gorgeous. The 50 ppd mixed with the brightness, the local dimming, and the really high resolution. Whether you're on high or medium in Pimax Play, it looks stunning. I'll probably stick with medium because I'm not sure how much I can really run high on, even with a 5090. But yeah, either way, it's a fantastic headset. So there's a lot of talk online about how performance hungry it is. Apparently the 50 ppd version needs such a big overhead compared to the OLED version they're working on, or the 57 ppd, simply to account for the barrel distortion or whatever it is. But it certainly is performance hungry, and it seems like the super at medium equates roughly, very roughly, to the light on high. So if you have trouble running the Crystal Light on high, expect those same sort of troubles with the super on medium. And again, the super on low is similar, not quite as close to the light on medium, but it actually looks worse. Obviously it's stretched over a bigger FOV, and for me personally, I won't see myself using the super on low. It doesn't look terrible, but I'm just used to a better image than that. On medium it looks fantastic, on low it drops below what I was looking at on the light, I would say. But of course you could buy it to use it on low, future proof yourself, that when you upgrade you can, you know, up yourself to medium and whatnot. So yeah, it's just something to bear in mind. Very performance hungry headset. I can't see many situations anyone's using it on high. Of course it's subjective. You could lower the game settings and whack it on high, but even on medium it's a beautiful image in the headset. It's stunning, crystal clarity, you know, of course hence the name. But yeah, I can't really complain about the actual image itself whatsoever. if you've skipped all of my waffle, I can't blame you, but my first impressions basically are this is an awesome headset. The brightness can't be understated. That adds so much realism to the scene, partnered with the local dimming, which works way better than I thought it would, certainly much better than the Crystal Light. So yeah, it's not like an OLED scene, but then in OLED you don't get the brightness you do get here, so it swings and roundabouts. But yeah, it's a great scene in the headset. The resolution obviously is super high, and I'm using it on medium generally, and that looks amazing. So yeah, I'm very happy with it, and I know this sounds all very positive, and I got the headset for free, so I must be a Pimax shill, yeah, whatever. But generally, I am amazed by the headset. The FOV, I'm getting like 126 degrees field of view, and this isn't the ultra wide, so that's an amazing jump from the Pimax Crystal Light. But there are issues, you know. The audio is pretty bad. You need the DMAS headphones, or you need another audio solution. The headphones, the head strap audio itself is bad. You don't want to be using it. It just is what it is. I'm sorry. The Chromatic Aberration, it's there. It's on menus around the edge of the screen. There's a lot of chromatic aberration. But it's like the Crystal Light. There's a lot in there. But in game, I don't see it. I don't think about it. But that's not going to be the same for everyone. You need to watch other reviews, other videos and whatnot. Or ideally, if you've used the Crystal Light, it's pretty much like that. But in game, I don't notice it. Same as the Mura. I can't say there's no Mura. There is some, but it's very minimal. And I don't notice it once I'm in game personally. And not all panels are going to be the same, so I can only talk about the one I've got here. So yeah, that's it really. So far I'm loving the headset. I think it's amazing. It's obviously the best visuals that I've ever had in VR up till now, but it's also the latest headset I've got, so it should be. But yeah, so okay, I didn't pay for this one, but I did pay, for example, for the Aero. The Vario Aero, and that was a lot more money. I paid for it and I was happy with it. This looks way better than that and costs a lot less, so take from that what you will. Now if you are looking to buy a Pimax Crystal Light or Super, they've generally got some sort of offer going on. Right now they got their Black Friday event. Now as always, check around, find the best deal you can, find the best code you can. But I do have mine. It's code Adam, or use the links below. They get you 3% off, as well as what I'm showing on screen, most notably 12-month iRacing membership and $15 iRacing gift card. I know 3% doesn't sound like a lot, but it's roughly £50 off a Super, £25 off a Light, something like that. Better than nothing, but of course, find the best deal you can. Also check out the Pimax website. They do have bundles available, which may save you some money if the bundles include stuff you're interested in, worth checking out. Outside of that, there is the PC VR upgrade program running till the end of the year. So if you've bought a VR headset in the past, can be anything. It doesn't have to be a Pimax, can be an Index, a Reverb, an Oculus, doesn't matter. Put in the details and see what you can get back in return. For example, off a Crystal Light, up to $100 savings off your upgrade. Or Crystal Super, it says, receive a premium gift bundle including the Pimax DMAS audio solution, which to be fair I've said should be included by default, but they're not, so you do want them. And free prescription lenses powered by Ons VR, apparently valued at $160. So few options there. And bear in mind, you don't send in your old headset, you just show that you've bought it in the past, so that's pretty cool. But as always, just get the best deal you can, keep your eyes open. You got 2 examples there, Black Friday going on and the upgrade path, so something to be aware of. Anyway, that'll do it for now. Any comments or questions, drop below. If there's anything specific you want to know, ask about, or see with the Super, let me know. Anything you want me to benchmark, I'll try and do that for you. Otherwise, that'll do it for now, and I'll catch you later. Cheers.